From the West Coast, ladies and gentlemen, the Army Air Forces present Wings to Victory, a dramatization of American heroism based on combat reports from the fighting fronts. Uncle Sam presents Wings to Victory.
Do you hear those singing voices, America? They belong to just a few of the thousands of pilots, navigators, bombardiers, and gunners being trained for you by the Army Air Forces. And you can depend on this, America. When they've completed their training, they'll be the finest flying, fighting men in all the world.
USA, the story of Major John Rocky Saunders, commanding a P-47 Thunderbolt squadron, who called themselves the Amateur Angels, and how a flight surgeon and an Army Air Forces nurse helped him to win his toughest combat. Our 8th Air Force in England has been going up against the best the Hun can muster for more than a year. Bomber crews and fighter pilots, with their brothers of the RAF, are carrying the air war to the heart of Germany. Night and day, they face the heaviest black concentrations on any front. The crack fighter squadrons of Hitler's Luftwaffe, the last desperate resistance of cornered gangsters. 8th Air Force flight surgeons know that the physical and spiritual strain of this battle is such that no man can endure it without periodic intervals of rest. They have set up rest camps for our flyers in quiet sectors of England, and this has been done behind all other fighting fronts, too, so that men who have fought themselves near the cracking point of exhaustion can recuperate. Our story opens at a country estate in northern England, where Lieutenant Janet Blaine, an Army Air Forces nurse, is reporting for duty.
Lieutenant Blaine, Colonel Pearson will see you now.
Thank you, Corporal. Sir, Lieutenant Blaine reports his orders.
Oh, good morning, nurse. Take a chair, won't you? Just got one more of those blasted reports to sign. Well, by Joe, that's done. Now then. Oh, yes. You're the prescription I ordered from Base 2.
Prescription, sir?
Yeah, Blaine. Janet Blaine, right?
Yes, sir.
You know a young fellow named John Saunders?
Rocky? Well, yes. I mean, if it's the Saunders who's the major commanding the Angel Squadron.
That's the one.
Is he here?
Been here for 10 days.
But I thought, well, he usually writes if he...
Hasn't written you, huh?
No, sir. I'm very much surprised, but... What happened, Colonel? Has he been sick?
Not physically, no. And I can't find anything wrong with him otherwise either. The boy has us stumped. The physical findings didn't add up to anything important.
Was Rocky sent here?
Yes, on orders from his group CO. Can't say as I blame the boys at the squadron for being worried. It looked like a crack up the way Rocky acted.
How was that, sir?
Well, he led a top-cover sweep when the forts hit Schweinfurt. He got 2 Jerrys himself, and the squadron did a fine job. But Captain Davis tells me that as soon as Rocky got back, he grounded himself and told the old man he wasn't fit to be a squadron commander. He asked that Buzz McCardle take over his job.
That's nonsense.
Nonsense, huh?
I mean, I know Buzz McCardle, sir. He isn't in Rocky's class when it comes to leadership.
You know him that well?
Yes, sir. I'm very fond of Buzz. He's a big, wholesome kid, but Rocky, why, I don't know what he could have been thinking of to turn his squadron over to Buzz.
They felt the same way about it at the fighter base. So Colonel Rounds, the group CO, decided a rest might straighten him out.
And it hasn't?
No. Rocky wants to go back. But he says he won't command. He wants to serve under Buzz.
I'm glad you sent for me, Colonel.
Think you can help solve the problem?
Well, I can try.
Good. Go right ahead and start trying. You'll find Major Saunders on the terrace along the river somewhere.
Yes, sir. Major Saunders?
Saunders? What's he look like?
She means the man in the iron mask. Don't you, honey?
They both know Major Saunders. They're just trying to open up a conversation. So am I.
It'd be an intellectual treat, I'm sure. But just now I'm on duty, and I've got to find Major Saunders.
Well, you're wasting your time. He hates everybody, even cute little nurses.
Wait a minute. I'll tell you. Rocky's down at the courthouse.
Thanks very much.
My name's Jimmy. And remember, I told you.
Write your mother what a nice boy you are. Hello, Rocky.
Janet Blaine, where'd you come from?
Base 2, on orders. Aren't you going to shake hands?
Who ordered you here?
Colonel Pearson sent for me.
Oh, what's the idea?
Maybe he thought you needed a nurse.
Nurse? I feel fine in the pink. Wonderful. Glad to see you, of course.
Are you glad, Rocky? Really glad?
Now, don't start that. I was just being polite.
Oh.
Now, look, Janet, you know you shouldn't have come. These pilots here haven't a thing to do but talk.
You let him talk. I'm here on Army business. Hold out your hand, Major.
Okay. Not a tremor, see?
Well, not much, no.
Want me to stick out my tongue, nurse?
Not necessary. How much sleep have you been getting?
10 hours?
An hour a night for 10 nights, huh? You look it. You look gosh awful, Rocky.
I wish I was a general. I'd ship Doc Pearson home.
Yeah? Maybe you're the one who ought to go home.
Now, don't try that.
What's wrong with you, Rocky? What happened?
Nothing's wrong and nothing happened. I'm going back to the squadron.
Maybe you are.
Maybe. Doc hasn't got a thing on me.
Why did you ground yourself?
That's one privilege a CO has in this Air Force.
Oh, sure.
I did the squadron a favor. Buzz is acting CO.
You're always handing things to Buzz.
Oh, my gosh, aren't you proud he got the squadron?
No, I'm not.
Have you and Buzz... Oh, now don't tell me you've been scrapping.
No, nothing like that. We're a loving, engaged couple.
Oh, you scared me for a minute.
I'm going to scare you worse.
Yeah?
Colonel Rounds wasn't satisfied with your explanation. Neither is Colonel Pearson. They think your behavior was irrational.
I know they do. What do you think?
Well, I think you've got some quixotic ideas of building Buzz up at your own expense. Buzz won't stand for it when he's told the truth.
But it isn't the truth. I did it for the squadron, not Buzz.
The squadron?
Yes.
You think it helps the squadron to deprive them of the best leader?
I'm not the best any longer, Janet. No, I had it for a while, but I was losing it. I turned it over to Buzz in the nick of time. Buzz got it. He'll always have it.
Oh, that's silly. I told Colonel Pearson so. You haven't lost your nerve. Buzz would hoot at such an idea.
Something worse than that's happened to me.
What?
Oh, never mind. Come on, I'll introduce you to some of the wolves.
No, we should talk this thing out.
Not today, thanks. Not any day. And don't go playing female psychiatrist.
Okay, Rocky. I'll try to stay in character.
That a girl. Come along.
Here, you forgot your book. Oh, my gosh. The Way to Permanent Peace by Wilbur Jennings, Ph.D., LL.D., D.D. Were you actually reading this?
Yeah. Much as I could stand. Give me.
Why, Rocky, did it make you that sore?
No. I'm just through with it, that's all. Some of them I toss in a river, and some I just kick into a corner.
Where's your coat?
Coat on a warm morning like this?
You're shivering.
Oh, that. I picked up a little malaria in the islands. You know, I was over
What
there.
island?
Don't ask so many questions. You're only a lieutenant. I'll have Buzz give you a spanking.
That's an idea. I'll go call him up and ask him to come over.
No, I don't want to see you. The guy's busy. He's fighting a war. Oh, for Pete's sake, I am cold. I'll hurry in and get my coat. See you later.
I agree with everything you say, nurse, but I don't know about having McCardle come over here. They've called from the squadron every day asking about visitors, but Rocky didn't want to see anyone.
No, he still doesn't. But I think he should see Buzz, and right away.
Well, you know, it was McCardle who suggested that I send for you.
Oh, he did? I was wondering.
He said you could handle Rocky better than anyone else.
I do think I understand him, Colonel. You see, Rocky and Buzz are exact opposites. I didn't meet Rocky until after Buzz and I had become engaged. They both had leads in London, so...
So you made it a threesome occasionally, huh?
Yeah, that's right. And the one thing that struck me about Rocky was a sort of envious admiration he felt toward Buzz.
Envious?
Yes, sir. That's what made it so startling. Actually, Rocky was the hot pilot of the squadron. He had the dash and fire. He was imaginative and full of color. Yet he envied Buzz so intensely it was, well, sort of pathetic.
What does he most admire about McCardle?
His perfect adaptation to war, I think.
This begins to add up.
I'm sure it does, sir. Buzz is the key of this whole business. And that's why I think Buzz should talk to Rocky.
There's just one other point, nurse.
Yes?
Well, if you'll forgive me, it's a personal question.
Of course, Colonel.
You say Rocky envies McCardle for possessing things he hasn't got. Are you in any way involved in that?
Me? Oh, no, sir. I'm just a pain in the neck to Rocky.
Now, what in thunder is...
The 47. That's Buzz's plane, sir.
Buzz? We better cut that out. This is a rest camp.
I'll go try to stop him, sir.
Why, doggone. Is that Fireball, Dennis?
You know it's me, you big cluck.
Well, shake, boy, shake. Hey, I thought you were in Italy. How did you ever chisel those 2 bars, you gold breaker?
Don't worry about that, Buzz. Wait till Colonel Pearson skins you for buzzing the Duke's castle.
I just wanted to send you sissies diving under the beds. Good exercise for you.
Captain McCardle.
Hiya, Janet. Gangway, you guys.
Oh, do you know her?
Do I know her? What's this? Honey, child, give Pappy a great big kiss.
Captain, please.
There you are. Moan, you wolves, moan. Hey, Tex, Skeezick, Fireball. Meet the future Mrs. McCardle.
Hello.
That'll be all. We're in a hurry. Hey, Janet.
I'm right here. You don't have to yell.
Oh, sorry, Dumplings. I guess I'm still engine deaf. Hey, where's Rocky?
In his room, I think. But I want to talk to you first.
Okay, let's go. Well, so long, gang. See you at supper, huh? Bye-bye. Oh, well, the secrecy, Janet. Why are you so solemn?
I'm a nurse, remember? And I'm working now. These are office hours.
Why? Is there anything wrong with Rocky?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, you sure he isn't kidding you? He was just tired when he left the squadron. I came to fetch him back.
You don't want to be CO, Buzz.
Oh, my gosh, no. The old man and the gang want Rocky in there. So do I. Oh, we gotta have him back.
Why?
Well, look, honey, don't get disappointed in Pops, but well, the squadron wasn't so hot at Abbeville the other day. We lost 3.
That's tough. Your worst day.
Yeah. I saw Dick and Larry bail out, but the new kid, Sumner, he didn't.
Wasn't your fault, was it?
No, we just needed Rocky with us, that's all.
Why?
Well, I don't know how to explain it, hon, except, well, a fighter outfit is a mixture. You have a talker, you have a smiler, you have a clown, you have a sad Sam. I don't know,
Yes, you do. Go on. What's the rest of the mixture?
Oh, different guys. A couple of killers, 3 or 4 guys that can smell Jerry's 10 miles off, a few that can fly like Sin's ghosts. But you put them all together, and it's a high-octane mix. Then you need a sparker that can fire them up. Well, that's Rocky.
How does he fire him up?
How?
Yes, how?
I don't know, Janet. I wish I did know. He just does it.
With pep talk?
No, that's college kid stuff.
Buzz, this is important. Think hard. Think of what Rocky means to the outfit and try to put it into words.
Look, Janet, don't get me mixed up with highbrow psychological stuff. Hey, just let me go talk to Rocky, and I'll kid him out of it.
No, you wait here.
Oh, nuts to that. He's my pal.
He said he didn't want to see you.
No kidding?
No kidding. I've got to go talk him into it. You stay here.
Who is it?
Lieutenant Blaine, Major Saunders.
Are you alone?
Yes.
I'm trying to write some letters.
Buzz is here.
Yeah, I heard him.
He wants to see you.
You sent for him?
No. He came expecting to take you back to the squadron.
Has the old man made him permanent CO?
That's what he wants to talk to you about.
Don't start fibbing, Janet. He came to blondie me into the old job, didn't he?
Yes. But not any guff. They need you, just as I said.
Come in here a minute. We lost 3 boys over Abbeville. Tommy Randolph sent me a telegram.
Yes, I know about him. Buzz told me.
Tommy wanted me to write their folks. I can't do it. Buzz is going to do it.
He botched the job, Rocky.
No, he'd write good, consoling letters. I don't want to console those people.
Why not?
I want to tell them to grieve all their lives and never to forget. See why I'm no good no more?
No, I don't.
The censors wouldn't pass the letters I'd write home now. Think of an officer and a gentleman telling the families of dead boys to dislike Germany for all time. Is that nice?
Just so you don't use the word hate, it's all right.
Buzz can write the letters after this. He'll be a good sportsman. He won't harbor grudges.
Rocky, I didn't know you felt so bitter.
I didn't know it myself until lately. I used to be a pretty liberal guy.
Me too.
You still are. You want to fight this war to a finish and then kiss the Germans and Japs and make up.
I don't think I do.
Then Buzz has got to get right to work. When this is over, Buzz will give a goal line cheer for a defeated team and start selling German bonds. Or maybe he'll go to Tokyo and build them new cannon
Oh,
factories.
not quite that, Rocky.
Yes, just that. And it's sweet. It's beautiful. I wish I could take it that way.
You envy him?
Yes, I envy him. He's taking this war in stride while I can't even do my job.
But you were doing your job, Rocky. I'll get Buzz in here and let him tell you just how well you were doing.
No, hold on. I don't want to see him. Not just yet.
What's the matter?
Nothing at all. I picked up some malaria. I'm all right.
Here. You sit down and drink some water. Maybe you ought to have a little bromide.
There's water, nice.
Been too solitary. You ought to get out and mix with the other pilots. Talk and play games.
Games? Why can't I be more like that guy, Janet? You know, this is just a big, rough football game to him. Well, I'll drink my water. Here's to the Abbeville kids. Goering's Abbeville kids. They fly FWs with gold and silver striping. They come out of France. It belongs to them now. Paris, Notre Dame, the Louvre. It all belongs to them.
I know how you feel. It's all right. Here's another one. Break it. Throw a chair at the window. Get it out of your system.
I've tried all that. I've shot 850 calibers at them. I've killed 9 of them. 9. What's that? They breed 900 every second, or is it 900 every 1,000? Now you see why I'm not even fit to command the squadron.
I don't see it all. And Buzz.
Run along now, will you, please?
No. I'm on your side.
My side. A soft-hearted gal like you.
Oh, Rocky.
Well, maybe you're right. I'll talk with Buzz. Go get him.
You'll talk about the squadron?
Sure.
Oh, that's great. What are you going to say?
Just what I said to you.
No. Buzz wouldn't understand.
I'll make him understand. He can take this thing his way, but I've got to take it my way. Well, I'll probably get the shakes as I've got him now. But it isn't malaria. It isn't nerves. It's hate. Hate in my bones like a fever. And he'll be shocked, and you'll despise me, and I think I ought to be prayed for.
No. No, I'll love you.
You mean you'll pity me, huh? No thanks.
It isn't pity. I guess I've felt this way since the first time Buzz introduced us in London.
You're talking silly, Janet.
I had to say it. No matter what you think of me, I can't let you believe that I despise you or pity you.
Buzz will have to spank you.
No, Rocky. I know what it is to hate them. I've seen our dead and wounded. I know what chokes you up. Awful sense of futility that rides you when you hear phony liberals making excuses for the dear German and Japanese people.
Thanks, Janet.
They did that the last time. They shook hands across American graves. They caused this war. And as soon as it's over, they'll turn on you who fought for them and sneer at your hate. The very hate and battle spirit that saved their lily white hides. But I don't condemn you. I love you.
You don't mean that.
I'm not trying to make this a love scene. I know you don't care anything about me. I just want to convince you that you're right. That one must fight slave makers in hot blood and distrust them always. And be ready to kill them the moment they start on the march.
Hey, Nursey, where's Major Saunders?
Oh, Janet. Hiya, Rocky.
Hello, Buzz.
What is this, a rib? Hey, you look swell. Why, doggone you, Janet. Say, you know what she did? Told me you were off the beam and didn't want to talk to
Oh,
me.
now, Buzz, I know.
I beg your pardon, Dumplin'. But you most emphatically give me the impression that Rocky was a mental case. Hey, that's a heck of a thing to joke about.
Sorry.
Well, you ought to be. Well, Rocky, old socks, you look okay. Hey, how's about checking out of this dump and coming back to the squadron, huh?
Oh, sure, Buzz. I've had a swell
That's
run.
all I want to hear. Start packing up his clothes, Janet. I'm going to dump that CO job right back in your lap, Rocky.
CO job?
Yeah, it's yours. You can have it. As a plain matter of fact, the old man and the gang don't...
Sorry, Buzz. I just can't talk about that now, huh? Maybe later in the afternoon.
Well, sure, but what... Now, what in... There is something wrong with Rocky, Hunt.
Not very much.
Oh, but all of a sudden he got kind of trembly
Yeah.
and
He was embarrassed.
Embarrassed? What did I say wrong?
It wasn't anything you said. Something I did.
Huh?
Just before you came in, I made love to him.
You did what?
I told Rocky I was in love with him.
Another gag?
No. No, not a gag, Bud.
Oh, I get it. But where does that leave me?
I don't know. I don't even know where it leaves me.
You just sprung this on Rocky out of a clear sky.
Yeah.
What'd he say?
Nothing. Just look terrified.
My gosh, Dumplings, what a dumb stunt to pull. Hey, Rocky's my best friend. He probably never even thought of making a pass at you.
No, probably not.
You got no self-control. That's the trouble with you. My gosh, how am I going to square this? Just when I get the guy agreeable to coming back to the squadron, well, you complicate things with an unrequited pass for Rocky.
Let's leave me out of it for a minute.
Leave you out of it?
Rocky won't go back to the CO job because he thinks you're the better man for it.
Oh, the guy's nuts.
No. He's tormented and tortured by the very thing that makes him a great combat leader. He hates the Germans. Hates them with a fury.
That's it. That's what I was trying to tell you.
I want you to pretend to go AWOL, Buzz.
Yeah. AWOL.
Sure, don't you see? Rocky trusts you to run the squadron, but nobody else. If you're AWOL, you'll have to go back, and once he's back, the job will claim you.
Yeah, but how could I make it look on the level?
I'll tell him I broke our engagement.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell him your heart is broken and you rushed off on a binge. Then I'll fix it with Colonel Pearson and Colonel Rounds to protect you.
Well, it might work.
It's our only chance, Buzz. You've got to explode that Buzz McCardle myth that Rocky's hiding behind.
Seems like you're asking me to be awful darn noble.
You aren't the only one that's being darn noble.
What?
Rocky'll hate me for this.
Well, I just hope he does. It serves you doggone right.
Okay. We'll fight it out after the war. Get started for some pub in town. I have to fix things with the colonel.
Okay, but you better be figuring how you're going to square things with me. I wouldn't do it only... Well, we got to have Rocky back in the squadron.
Yes, sir. Come in.
Janet, where did Buzz go? I can't find him anyplace.
I can't find him either. I've been phoning everywhere.
When was he due back at the squadron?
In about an hour.
His plane is still on the strip. I'll check with the
Oh,
guard.
I'm afraid it's no use, Rocky.
What do you mean?
Well, I had to be honest with Buzz.
Honest about what?
I meant what I said to you. Up in the room.
Why, that's silly, Janet.
No. I meant it.
Good Lord. You didn't tell Buzz. You didn't go into dramatics.
Not any dramatics, but I broke off with him.
But, Janet, how could you have done
Well,
that?
I did. He took it badly. I'm afraid he's gone off to get drunk.
Of course he has. Why wouldn't he? He's a cruel, heartless... Squadron, I'll have to go. I've got to cover for Buzz.
That's generous of you.
Generous nothing. There's a war on. I'm not as good as Buzz, but I'm better than anyone else they can dig up in a hurry. Yeah, I'll have to go.
Colonel Pearson might not...
Let's see him try to stop me. I'm going.
Rocky, wait. Won't you forgive me?
Forgive you? What crust? You bust Buzz all up and leave the squadron without a CO. Nobody but an old crock like me. And you ask me to forgive you. Goodbye.
Janet, it worked. There goes Rocky back to the war.
Yeah.
He sounds right peeved. He's even clearing his guns. I guess he's pretty sore at you, isn't he, Janet?
He thinks he is. He thinks he and Buzz are through with me for life.
That's tough. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter about us. I'm glad he's so furious. It's a good fury, a beautiful rage. He thinks he hates the Krauts and Japs, but he doesn't. He hates an idea. The idea that men should be slaves. A lot of people, even some Americans, have that idea. Rocky will hate slavery and stand ready to kill slave makers in Germany or Japan or America, wherever they rise up. And so will I. And if all Americans felt as Rocky does, we'd have peace. A real peace.
They led our brother, and he a prisoner of war, to a muddy hole on a South Pacific island and cut off his head. That stroke of a Japanese sword has stirred the American public to indignation. Why? It was a kindly and chivalrous act, measured by Japanese standards of behavior. The sword glittered warningly in the air, and it was very sharp, was it not? Well, there was no warning at Pearl Harbor. Many American boys, ambushed on that occasion, still suffer in hospitals. Yes, the sword of Japan rarely kills with quickness and mercy. How many American mothers, wives, and sweethearts feel this Japanese sword in their breasts tonight? How many live with the phrases listed as missing, badly wounded? We regret to inform you. The words are English, but they fester from the dull, relentless prodding of the Japanese sword. Our men in the prison camps of Luzon, Formosa, and Honshu know the Japanese sword. For them it struts and clanks, waiting, mocking, tormenting. The proud Samuras feel as many moods. It leaped and danced and gorged itself on blood at Nanking, at Hong Kong, at Manila. It purred in its scabbard at Washington, then rasped out a cruel snicker through the Orient. It hacks, it bites, it hisses, till victims beg for one good, clean stroke. And death. Who wears the Japanese sword? Who yields? Who wields this brutal glee, this weapon forged in the Dark Ages? Shall we, in unspeakable treason to our dead, proclaim that a sub-lieutenant or a lieutenant commander controls the Japanese sword? Ah, no, these are not the guilty ones. Few men in Tokyo have pointed this evil blade at our hearts. Bomber squadrons, you know their names. Remember them. Up fortresses, up liberators. We, too, sword.
Listening to Wings to Victory, an official presentation of the Army Air Forces. For obvious reasons, the names of characters in these stories are fictitious. We wish to thank Miss Virginia Gregg, who played Jeanette. The script was produced by William T. Johnson. Sergeant Hal Gibney speaking. War Service program comes to you each week from the West Coast.
And now, an important message from your government. Monday, October 4th, opened the National War Fund Drive, a combined appeal by 17 national relief agencies and thousands of local welfare organizations. One of your favorite welfare agencies is among those 17. So give. The goal is $125 million. For instance, the USO and the United Seamen's Relief will benefit. Further aid will be given war prisoners through their committee. Suffering people in the war-torn or occupied countries of Europe will continue to receive help by your contributions. At home in your community, the children clinics, various family welfare societies, the YMCA, the Boy Scouts, and the Girl Scouts, community centers, and so on, all will share in and be aided by the funds from this one great drive. Remember, this is the only appeal for money to be made. You give just once. It's the National War Fund Drive. This is the Blue Network.